All right. Welcome back, everybody, for SharkNation Live number 13. Just Jason and I here today. How's it going, my man?
Living the dream, man. Fighting through a little cold, but making it work.
Which is the perfect definition of what we're talking about today because, I think today, we titled this It's Simple or Is It? And I think it's because it is simple, the concept of like pushing through, or a lot of concepts are simple, but walking the walk, so talking the talk is simple, but walking the walk is the hard part. And it's a universal principle, I think, um, and that's what's happening to us today. Jason feeling a little under the weather. I'm having some Facebook tech issues of connecting, so this is not streaming live on Facebook. We'll get it posted up there. I think it is on Jason's, right? Um, but that's not going to stop us from staying consistent and getting this episode out. And I think that's important to note. Excuse me. So um, let's dive in. So relative to pushing through when it's hard, what's your thoughts on how that's a simple concept but hard to kind of follow through with?
Yeah. So, I mean, like what we're doing here with the podcast. We both listen to Hermosi a lot, and he's talking about just consistency. Just by doing 13 consistent weekly episodes, we're already in the top 1% of podcasters that quit after they don't see, on the top of Apple rankings after like the first week or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's crazy how easy it is to quit, right? A
It
lot of
is.
people say, like, hey, at least I tried, right? But actually, like, taking that next step and just following through with what your commitment was is a game changer for everything in life.
Yeah. And, I've been saying this a lot. Like, don't get me wrong. There's challenges. Like, yes, people get sick. Yes, kids get sick. Yes, you have a lot of kids. Yes, a lot of kids things, right? But like, yes, life gets in the way. Life throws curveballs at you. 100%, 100%. But there are too many freaking ears out there to comfort, like that'll listen and comfort you and like, yeah, that was a lot to deal with. And there's not enough people to say, you know what? Suck it up, buttercup, and push forward. And I think the world needs a little bit more of that. I'm always like, everything I talk about, I feel like you can be too far one way and too far the other. So 100% you can be too no excuses and hard and crazy and never have like, any bit of empathy. But at the same time, like I said, I feel like we live in a world where everybody's like, I understand. Like, no, we need some pushback because the middle way, I'm always subscribed to like the middle way, like Buddhism. but
Going
um,
deep. We're going deep on this episode.
well, not as a religion, as a
Yeah,
philosophy. Like, I mean, tell me, you can be too nice, right?
for sure. And I think, kind of what you're talking about, what it boils down to is accountability, right? you
Yeah,
know, having somebody that's going to be kind of guiding you on your journey, right? I think that's kind of the point that you're trying to make is, when it does get hard, do you have somebody that's going to say, hey, look at, stick with it? Or do you have somebody that's going to say, well, you gave it your best shot. Here's your participation trophy.
that's exactly it. That's exactly right. And um, I find it hard. Well, those are hard conversations, because I found myself even doing it. Like, I'm not like, just because I say these things doesn't mean like I'm a perfect human being. You know what I mean? But like, um, I've noticed in some conversations I've had with some people close to me where I've had to, say you're full of shit, like suck it up, and not just all like rude like that, like just catching them, where they're playing into the bullshit, because and I do it too, and people call, my wife calls me out on it all the time. She's like, yeah, you're talking about all this stuff, but what did you actually do? Or yeah, you're saying it's hard, but you didn't actually try, or just different thing, and it's what, but that's, I think that's it's something that's so important to get people around you that do
Hmm.
that.
Well,
um
here's a key thing that I've noticed. being busy and actually getting the work done are two different things, right?
Right.
Because you could be busy and distract yourself by just kind of organizing the desk, getting all the stuff done, but actually sitting there at your desk and doing the work and everything that you need to have done is a totally different thing. So busy and done are two different things.
That's a big problem, especially in real estate. That's because that's, most people are conditioned to, I get paid hourly. I'm going to do what I'm told, nothing more, nothing less. And, well, maybe less sometimes, but you know what I'm saying? Like, let me just do what's in front of me. Um, where here you have total freedom to make, you've got to, there's no necessarily a manager all the time, unless maybe you're on a team or something like that, but there's no real manager breathing down your neck going like, this is what you need to be doing today. So you've got to, and then the money tells you if you did right or wrong, like it's not about money, but money's going to be the measuring stick for, did you do work that moved the needle, or did you just check out all the new CRMs? Did you just scroll Facebook because you're trying to stay in touch with your sphere? You know,
Yeah.
uh, did you know what I'm saying? Like, and hey, I've been there. Shiny new object syndrome. I am so guilty. I've been.
Mhm. I pushing through today. I have 3 new team members starting today, this week, so we're just getting all trained up. I'll be jumping on with them after, I jump off with you, but it's like, literally the conversation I had with them yesterday is the hardest part about being a real estate agent is the freedom,
Right.
just trying to set your schedule and try to allocate time to hit those income producing activities, because like I said, you can go in the weeds and just say, oh, I'll watch another podcast, or I'll just learn this, or I don't know the contracts well enough right now to get, and you kind of use things as a crutch instead of, everybody knows that getting on the phone is probably the biggest income activity that you could do, and everybody avoids it like the plague, like everybody's going to avoid me with my cold, right? So uh it's tough, but that's when, if you have any kind of sensation in your body that it's going to be hard, it should that should be a signal that you're on the right track.
I like that. No, I like that, and that's I had made a little live video about this yesterday, but everybody wants leads. Everybody wants leads. But like, I've seen so here's the deal. I got in the business, and when I paid for leads, I was broke young. I was making 25 grand before I got into real estate a year. So, you get into real estate and you start spending money on leads. You're like, shit, I got to shake every penny out of this piggy bank, So that's what it was, But then what I never realized, like, agents want these leads, and I'm like, yeah, maybe they just don't have leads. And then, so anyway, so as I got them leads, whether it's on the team or through our marketing agency or through some coaching clients I've had, they don't work the leads. Like, and it's it's try once and quit. Like, it's the same, like, and this is why it's a principle. It's like the same as the podcast. It's the same, like, and I like where Hermosi says, like, I think as an entrepreneur, you just basically have to commit. I'm going to do this, period. Like, I'm just going to, not like I'm going to do this for 3 months and see if it works. Like, I'm just going to commit, and
Burn
I'm
the
going to
boat.
make it work until
Yep.
I die.
Yeah. Yeah. Burn the boats, right? Well, two things. One, it's, if we have agents on the team not working them, that's our fault, right? So as team leaders, we got to do a better job of communicating the necessity and the importance of that. Another thing that goes into that kind of is, you know you were saying that you were shaking the piggy bank because you had all that skin in the game. But when you're the team lead and now you're buying them for somebody else, and they, it's kind of, oh, I'll take it if I feel like it. It's not the same. It's not the same thing. So trying to get that same driver and motivation to work each one is not the same because there's not as much skin in the game, like you were saying.
That's fair. Yeah, and I think that's one of the things. Well, I noticed on the leadership side of things, I expected people to, when I tell them the lessons I learned, I expected them to learn the same lesson, but they didn't experience it the same way I did. They didn't go to the conference. They didn't get it delivered with the same tonality or this from the same human being that, that I got it delivered from. So it's something that makes complete sense with that. Yeah. I mean, but that's tough. You'd think like, I don't know, 2, 3 months in when they are having trouble paying their bills, that they would start feeling the skin in the game.
Well, and here's another thing, when you're first getting started, don't expect your first paycheck for like 4 to 6 months, right? So we're trying to shrink that curve, because say if you found somebody today, a cash deal, you're not buying till 30 days out. Anything with a loan, you're 45 to 60 days out. And we only get paid when it closes. So right off the shoot, you're 2 months out. And then that's if you have business. If you don't have that business, you're just keep pushing out that 45 to 60 days until you start getting, you know, cogs in the cycle, and start building up that lead wheel.
No, yeah, and well, and so I've recently, I don't know how much I think I've shared some of it on the podcast, but in case I haven't, I've recently started to take some leads again because I think my personal team needs a good model of how to work the leads. We don't have a good team member modeling that right now, so I dived back in about 3 or 4 weeks ago now. First of all, it's funny, the same shit works. So because it's not, oh, this is in 2023 or whatever. Sure, some things change. People answer their phone less because there's AI callers and too much spam. But at the end of the day, it's human beings and how you speak to them, right?
Yeah.
But the other thing is it's like, I know what I'm doing is working. I also know that I won't see a damn penny of it until June. you know, like, and
Yep.
that's okay because like that's the nature. I mean, that's the nature of the business. But it's also it's sometimes a benefit for those who are disciplined and driven enough, because if you do get that instant gratification, it can let you take your foot off the gas a little bit. um, it's almost why like I prefer when a new agent gets on the team. You do get some that get that big push and they sell 6 in the first 30 days or something like that, and then you get the other ones that do all the stuff and they don't get money results for 3 to 4 months because just timing of people, the human beings that they've interacted with. I prefer that. Even though it's harder for them in the beginning, they tend to last longer in my analysis. But selling a house isn't selling a bag of chips. It's a big. So you need to have empathy and be clear. Like the people you're going to work with are going to take time to make that decision.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, you have the biggest purchase of somebody's, life in your hands, right? So you have to be confident and competent enough to do it, right? A lot of times people want to kind of, like I said, that 4 to 6 months, a lot of that time is building up that confidence and the competency. So when you go out, you're sharp and you know exactly what to do. You've modeled it. You've been in the trenches. You've done some trial and error contracts, all that kind of stuff where, by the time you're ready, right? So my analogy yesterday was like, you might have no deals this month and no deals next month. Then you have one, and then you have one, and then you have one, and then you have three. You know what I mean? And it kind of, you're building that snowball and you keep throwing, more people that are ready into that cycle. And then all of a sudden your business takes off. So many people quit right when they start getting the ball rolling. That's the problem. It takes a long time. I said, my
dude,
analogy, it was this, like, picture a giant boulder in front of you, and it takes a lot of inertia to get this thing freaking moving, right? It's going to take time, and you're going to have to keep pushing and doing the hard work up front. But once you can get it going, it's basically like you could just touch it with your finger and it'll move on its own, So sticking with it, and it's a long time, a lot of times, it's going to take a year or two, that you're going to have to sacrifice and learn and hustle and grind to get it going. But then after that, you'll have referrals, repeat business, spheres, seeing what you're doing and all that kind of stuff where you'll be able to grow your business.
the two important things from that: one, anybody listening to this, I've run a team for years and worked with agents for years. I can't tell you how many times when they quit, how many sales come to us after. Now we don't get all of them because there wasn't the person that was building the rapport. So I don't even see them all. But I can tell you, I know an agent that was with us so back in 2016, we tracked this one, maybe 17. I'm sorry, it might be 2017. He was with us for about 3 months. Couldn't deal with the non-instant gratification. We tracked 8 sales that came from his 3 months that our agent that took over his lead. He literally quit the business. It wasn't like we were trying to steal leads. Like, I just had an agent recently that quit, and we just put him on our kind of default drip campaigns and auto alerts. We found 2 people that had bought a house and he had stopped following up with them 45 days ago, and they were under contract 30 days prior. Like, I could literally, I could show you, it's so I've got proof that you just ain't staying in the game long enough. But on top of that, here's the thing too. People will listen to this, and I've experienced this as well. Or they'll come into my or team onboarding or coaching call or whatever, just agents I've experienced, and they're like, yeah. And this is perfect for this episode because it's simple, but it's not. Like what we're saying, you get it right now. You listening, maybe you understand. Oh, I got to push through. Yeah. But to actually do it and to actually reach out at the level you need to consistently for 6 months, a year, 2 years, not stop, keep going. Like, that's the thing. It's like 2 hours a day, proactive, not taking inbound calls, not babysitting your deals, not scrolling Facebook, not babysitting your email, which is a to-do list made by other people. Proactive, outbound, call, text, email, video, sending to people, like outbound for 2 hours straight. I know I'm really going in, but I'm trying to make this clear. 2 hours of doing that per day, 5 days a week. It's a lot better than an 8-hour job, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do that for a year and tell me I'm wrong. Like, there's no way. There's no way you're going to come to me and be like, you could probably sell 20 houses. And most agents can't even sell 5, like.
Yeah. And, we talk a little bit about this offline, but, the Hormozi thing, 100 contacts per day. If you want to be successful, right? If you call, text, email 100 people a day, there's no way that you're not going to be successful. Just trying to find those people is one thing. We can help you with that. But like you said, if you're in the weeds and you're doing that every day, you will have business. There's no doubt about it.
Here's what's important about what you just said. Call, text, email. Like, I have some people, that, okay, they go, all right, I get it. Call. Cool. First of all, they don't try them again. They try them once. Strike one. They don't text them. They don't email them. Like, I had a lead I pulled up. This is good. I had a lead I pulled up when I was working. And, this is the emails that went out to them over like a 2 or 3 week period. An auto drip campaign email, a property alert, a mass email of me providing value about the local market stats, another drip campaign, another property alert, another, like seriously, like 8 or 9 emails went out. Not one was viewed. Okay. This is important. Not one was viewed. I sent a text message recommending a property to them based on like they came in a certain area. So I just picked up guys, it wasn't, I literally just took a second. I was like, yeah, maybe this property. There was not much thought to it. Okay. Do this. God, anyway. Sent them the property. I literally, the next 4 emails, they opened 3 of them. None of them were open. 9 emails. And the next 4 emails, there was no magic to them. One was a drip campaign. One was a property alert. One was a mass, market value jab. Like, and then after the 4th one, of those 4 that I'm talking about, that they opened 3 of them, they responded to me and said, thank you for sending me the real estate information. We'll be in touch with you, right? Kept going, continued with a 75% open rate, called them, left a voicemail, texted them and said, hey, left you a voicemail. This arc is important for agents right now. Then on my next auto email, which by the way, it could have been auto, manual, it doesn't matter. Notice the different methods that I'm discussing in here. There's not one, there's like 5. Send a video text. Hey, how you doing? It's Chad today. All right. Sent this auto email. She replied with, I'm looking for 4 beds, 2 baths, this price point, this area.
Bingo. Bang. The real estate gods reward activity, and and here's the key for what you're saying, right? People like to communicate the way they like to communicate. Maybe you don't like to open your emails, but you like to text. Or maybe you like Facebook Messenger. Or maybe you like somebody actually on the phone and it's a human being. You know what I mean? And not a robot. So it's somebody that you can relate to. You have to figure out, the different method for who you're talking to and how they want to be talked to, right? What way is the best way to communicate to them? A lot of times when I'm talking to clients, I'm like, what's the best way to contact you? You want me to call you? You want me to text you? What you want me to email you? What do you want? You want me to send a pigeon letter? I don't care. However you want to do it, that's the way you want it. That's the way we're going to make it happen, right? So, and you're building that relationship, and people respect that you're listening to them and communicating the way that they want to, so they feel appreciated.
Yeah. Well, and then there's the whole they just want what they want. The agent just wants what they want, and they give up after they don't get it. I've listened in on some calls and recently even, and there's like, hey, I see you're looking at homes online. What's catching? Well, they don't even say that. Are you looking at making a move? They like go right for the kill, and you really should be more of, what's catching your eye? What do you like about that area? Even if they give you just browsing, like, oh, cool, like, what do you think of the current real estate market? Like, just ask them questions, right? I had one pop the agent question real early. Do you have an agent? And don't get me wrong, you don't want to work with somebody that already has an agent. But popping the question too early, they might not understand what that means, because here's the thing. Everybody knows about 5 real estate agents. So
Yep.
they're like, do you have an agent? They're like, yeah, my friend Susie that I talk to once a year is an agent. I will use her whenever, So maybe like provide value, have curiosity on their search before you pop that question, number one. Number two, when they do, and they say they have one, don't just be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, thanks. Yeah, see you later. Like, give up.
Well, here's a great analogy. Today's Valentine's Day, right? Think of it with your partner, right? You don't just ask them to marry you the first time you see them, right? It's not like the movies. You got to court them. You got to show interest. You got to build that relationship up. Take them out. Show them what kind of person you are. Show
and
value.
You know what else you got to do? You have to be fucking desirable. Right?
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Like, as a real estate agent, right? Like, show you're an expert by being an expert. Like, just, okay, over the next 6 months, send them videos of you narrating the market stats, right? Okay, you can find a home better than other agents can. Okay, so start recommending them homes without any expectation of result. If they buy a home with the agent they said they have, and it was one you sent, good. You provided value. Over time, you'll get what you deserve if you put value out to the market. Why is Amazon what it is? How many problems does Amazon solve?
No, they are a big problem solver. Like I said, if you need a car or some kind of technical bolt that nobody else has, it's on there for sure. But no, solving the problems is big. Being of value is huge. And like you said, it's a long game. People are kind of, is it warm outreach? Is it cold outreach? Does this person have no idea who you are and you're kind of just trying to get their guard down? Or is it somebody that and then you're trying to show them like, hey, look, I am the expert. Work with me. You know what I mean? There's a difference in that. Know your audience.
I'm curious about this. So Jason, you say you got 1,000 leads that you've generated, and in your database, and you're going to send out a mass email to all of them. Is that cold outreach or warm outreach?
Both, because there's going to be some warm ones in there, right? But then there's also cold ones that they have no idea who you are. So depending on your database, it should be a mixture of your sphere plus, some cold leads coming in from, internet leads or whatever you want to call them for simplicity. But yeah, there's a different message to market match, right? We talk about it all the time, where it's, warm outreach, people that you know, your message should be tweaked in a way that's familiar with them. You're not going to have the same message to a stranger. Like, think about it as if I'm walking up to you on the street and we don't know each other. My introduction to you is going to be a lot different than if I see you and, we're friends and we're hosting the show. I'm going to be like, yo, what's up, man? How are you? But if it's somebody I don't know, it's going to be like, hey, Jason, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Just message to market is going to be different.
You're right to say that it's both, but here's what people don't fail to understand, because they do it once and then they quit. Oh, hey, emails don't work. Email mass marketing doesn't work, or the first time it's cold. They don't know you. But if you consistently, okay, here, I email agents in my email list. You want on it? You want to see what I send? Go to chadleonberg.com. You can sign up somewhere. I email them. I do it probably 2 or 3 times a week on average. Some weeks are less, some weeks are more, but pretty consistently. Literally yesterday, I sent out one. Just value, 0 for me. They've also been getting the podcast. They've been, all this stuff. So they know me. I got a call booked today. They feel like they know me. So it becomes warm if you introduce them to yourself and if you provide value and you do it consistently and you do it over time. And this is where it ties right back in, man. It's simple, but it isn't.
Yeah, everybody knows what to do. It's just a matter of, getting yourself pumped up or whatever you need to do to make it happen. And if you feel that spider sense tingling, like, you're probably onto something, that should be what you're doing. And my last piece of advice would be, right before you're going to quit, give it another 6 months, because you're probably right on the verge of going and making it happen, and you're just going to quit 1 inch away from the finish line.
100%, 100%. And I've got plenty of agents' body of work to prove that's true, because all the sales came after they left, or all the I'm ready came. And that's one other thing I'll make a point on as we start to wrap this one up is it's like negative reviews. They stand out a lot more clearly. So when you're reaching out to leads or whatever, the no's or the F-offs or the unsubscribes, they stand out like a sore thumb. Or I don't want your emails. I got that yesterday, actually. They stand out. But, here's something especially last 3 or 4 weeks, like I also got an email from somebody that said, thank you for everything you've been sending. I really like it. We're going to be in touch in the spring. The positive people are sitting on the sidelines, like they're watching. They're there. They're still there. It just, a lot of the positive people don't leave a review. They're good. They're satisfied, so they don't leave the review. But the negative ones, Christ, this sucked. I hated it. They keep.
You're a dummy. Don't call me. Yep. No, for sure. And like you said, it's one of those things where, you might get one unsubscribe and then you're like butthurt all day long. Like, oh, I can't believe they didn't like it. But then you're like, well, what about the other 400 that, went through? Maybe they didn't say anything. Maybe, 50 to 100 opened it. It's like, well, okay, well, there's some value in there. You know what I mean? Maybe they just don't reply like, okay, great, but they're getting value and you just don't know. I think that, like you said, that unknown about if it is working kind of deters people, because they only focus on like the negative stuff, like, don't freaking email me.
Well, when you to bring it back to Valentine's Day, like when you're dating, you're trying to date, right? Like, like if the person you're going after is like, yeah, leave me alone, blah blah blah, like but if you're like, oh, maybe we can go to the movies next week, and they don't say no,
yeah,
so you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, there's a chance. I like our chances. Yeah, for sure. Roll the dice. Hey,
it's human beings.
My son's 19, and I say, hey, ask them out. The worst they can say is no. It's the same thing with clients, same thing with everything. Hey, you got to try. You can't get accepted if you don't even take your shot, right? So you can't make the basket. So whatever analogy that you want to use, Ryan's gonna make fun of me because my analogies suck today, but whatever.
What, the Wayne Gretzky? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That one, or
Bang, take it.
I got it. That's why we're together here, Jason. I'll pick it. I'll pick it up for you.
Yeah, pick me up when I'm dragging ass today.
Don't let Ryan get on your case. He's we're gonna get him next week there in Punta Cana.
Yeah, the wedding. Then we get to talk about your story.
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
Dude, anybody that's watching, wait till you see me grill Chad. He was so uncomfortable, and I was going deep with him, and he wasn't liking it. He's squirming in his chair now because he's thinking about it. So definitely tune in to next week. It's a fun one. Get to learn about our host Chad and his story of how he came from A to Z.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, it's long. Well, in the spirit of not making this one that way, appreciate you coming on today, Jason. And I'll despite the nature trying to hold you down with sickness.
This episode's brought to you by Dayquil.
There's nothing stopping driven people. So you
Sure.
embody that and you model that for people, and that's important. That's important. I think if you take anything from today, take that.
I want to go roll up in my blanket and go back to bed, but I got shit to do.
We had sick people and we had tech issues, and we're still here.
Make it happen, peeps. Make it happen. Get out there and grind.
Love it. See you on the next one.
Peace.